What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tommy Israel. He's talking about what's going on in New Orleans, Calio projects. It is what it is. They got some band or something down the street. I don't know. Second line, but that's how it go down. The one thing about New Orleans, we got our own thing. Y'all hear that? That's the second line. It's probably sound like it's on Martin Luther King. But that's how it is, jazz, straight from New Orleans. Jazz and blues come from New Orleans. R&B as well, rock and roll too. If you know about music, Fast Domino, rest in peace. My man, Dave Bartholomew, rest in peace. These guys started rock and roll, started R&B. Lyoyd Price, I hope I get to meet him, because he's up there in age as well. If you know Lyoyd Price, the guy that sung Personality in Stagger Lee. That's that old, that's before Ray Charles. Ray Charles is credited, as starting rock and roll as well. A lot of that rock and roll, went back into R&B, because a lot of Marvin Gaye stuff come from Ray Charles as well. Using females in the background, on songs like Hitchhike and stuff like that. A lot of that come from Ray Charles, but rock and roll, all of that comes from New Orleans, and that's just facts. R&B music, like I said, my man, Personality, Walk, Personality, Smile, all of that, Doubt, Richard, even Lil Richard. Lil Richard used to come to New Orleans to work with the producers. That's how he got his sound. Right? If you know about music. So again, this is where it all started. New Orleans. From jazz to blues, or even from blues to jazz, because if you know your history, they used to send slaves down here. This was the place where they basically broke slaves in. Of course, they had a port. The port was down here also, but they broke slaves in. Like they always would threaten them to send them to Louisiana. But and that's just true. So what I'm saying is, out of that pain came blues, and from blues, came jazz, and then maybe the blue, gospel, all of that, and then rhythm and blues, and then the white folks, they started doing their thing. If you listen to your boy, what's your name? I forgot that guy that sung country music, but his country music was just like blues. Not even to mention Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis Presley and them, but all Jerry Lee Lewis used to peep through the windows of gospel churches who used to sing gospel. That's what he used to do. Conway Twitty, that's him, country guy, Conway Twitty. You listen to his music, he one of the early country guys. It sounds just like gospel. It sounds just like, blues, our music. And that's just facts. So it's good to know, about your, your culture, especially here in New Orleans. It's good to know about your culture and things, that your people created, and a lot of people, emulated. Right? So again, we got gospel, We got, you know, blues, jazz. Then came, you know, rhythm and blues. Then came rock and roll. You know, I know people talk about ragtime and all of that stuff, you know, but all that's in jazz. You know, boogie woogie, all that's, you know, that to me that's under, you know, that's under rhythm and blues, you know, slash gospel, you know. Um, but all of that junk, and then you know, all of that gave birth to hip hop. You know, Chuck Berry um, and Hendrix. You know, they brought in that heavy metal, and that's when, you know, white folks started making heavy metal music. That's where all that come from. You know, then you know the disco came. You know, the disco era came, and then that disco birthed rap or hip hop. You know, and shout out to reggae, you know, because Bob Marley, you know, he was a rhythm and blues artist. Excuse me. But anyway, Bob Marley was a reggae artist. I mean, he was an R&B artist, right? Using, you know, gospel, you know, excuse me, using gospel, different things like that, you know, and blues in his music. And then he created his own style, reggae. So we got to put reggae in it too. You know, now if I'm missing something, you know, people say go, bounce or whatever. You know, those are little subs to me. Screw music. You know, if I'm missing something, you know, forgive me. All right. Time Israel. I'm out.